Good morning, y'all, and good day. We got quite a lineup for y'all this week. Before we get into it, make sure you subscribe to Point Forward wherever you listen to your podcast and follow us on all social channels at Point Forward so you don't miss a thing. We have a few things we want to discuss today. Everyone's obviously still got their brains wrapped around an amazing Super Bowl, depending on, I don't know if it was depending on who you watch. I think it was a good game from what I heard. I saw.
Oh, you didn't watch the game?
I'm
bro,
don't ask me shit like that.
Man, it's the worst, bro. Ain't it? Wasn't your favorite football team?
Yeah, so the golf tournament was on, and that was giving me some peace and tranquility. So I kind of missed some of the first quarter, and then, trying to do some things with the 6-year-old. We did watch portions of the second half while playing, what's that game called? Sorry. But then I did see the overtime, so the overtime was cool. Also this weekend, we're heading to Indianapolis for the All-Star Weekend, and we'll break down the dunk contest. If it is or isn't losing its flair, then we'll continue to highlight the history of Black excellence throughout the NBA with a deep dive on some of the firsts for Black athletes in the league. Lastly, this is just a whole lot of GOAT talk today. Our guest on the pod this week is the one and only Ken Griffey Jr., who made us all want to bat left-handed. E.T., can you play baseball? I've never seen you swing a bat.
Yeah, boy, can I play baseball. I damn near went pro for that. For real. Now, I'm going to be completely honest with you. I will say this. No funny shit. I swear to God, I promise you, I was really good at baseball. This sound like bullshit. I'm telling you. Bro, I'm not even finna tell it. I used to steal one base. I used to steal 2 bases off one pitch. This is facts. I swear to God, this is facts. Shit. Okay.
I didn't say you weren't telling the truth.
Okay, yeah, no.
It's just very similar to your Connect 4 stories.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm like, I can see why you're skeptical. I can see the skepticism, and I understand. I'm not going to act like that's not there. So, bro, I was a really good baseball player. And I was decent at soccer too, so.
Okay. I know you can play football.
You saw the highlight film.
I know you can play football. Baseball, I wouldn't be surprised.
I get hit. I couldn't catch for shit for real. They put me in right field. It was bogus as hell. It could have been racist, but I could not catch. I will say that much.
Well, that's why they put you in right field, right?
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
You know how I go. Yeah, but other than that, I was pretty good. Could you play baseball?
I hope we have the tape. Somewhere. I was good at baseball in real life. I was shortstop, actually. And
really?
And I was playing backup catcher. And I was like, do not put me at catcher. But I was shortstop, and I hit 3 home runs one game.
Really?
And
like
there's
over
tape.
The fence?
2 were like over. It was a Boys and Girls Club. We ain't had no fence. But
no, that's good enough, bro. You get it. I get it.
2 of them was like over the fence. And then one of them was like triple that turned into inside the park. Now, we went to the I was a real switch hitter. So this week's episode was like, I got excited because I actually bat switch hitting.
Oh, do you?
Yeah. So I got two adult examples of me being good at baseball. One is we skipped practice and went to the Oakland A's arena, which is attached to Oracle. Like you can just walk down the tunnel and get there without going outside. And we had practice, and Steph and Clay would pitch because Clay could throw like 85. Steph can throw, but we had Maurice Spates, who was like a 95-mile-per-hour pitcher in high school.
You said that, yeah.
And I hit real home runs, right-hand and left-handed.
You did?
Yeah. And then I'm the MVP of the JaVale McGee softball game that was held at the Oakland A's Stadium too.
Oh, you was playing that hard, Mr. I don't like to have fun, and then went out there and competed
playing hard. I was just hitting home runs, left-handed and right-handed.
What was they doing? Underhanded you? Pause.
It was softball. I mean, I just take what they give you.
I hear you, man. I believe you could do it, G. If you get, bro, it's not hard to hit the ball, fam. Like, you want to know who can play softball or baseball for shit and it hurt my heart? Isaiah Thomas.
Which one?
The little one. So we played How do we play?
That's strange.
We used to do one for the Celtics every year. Like before the season, you play a team-wide softball game at like Boston at Fenway.
Yeah.
So you play there or whatever, but like Isaiah couldn't catch. He dropped every ball. He dropped like 4 or 5 balls. At one point, people were like, bro, what the hell? And then he couldn't hit for shit. And then when he finally did catch a ball, the whole field just started cheering, like legit. And people were like, nah, Buddy, they gotta get Buddy the fuck up off the team. It just kept hitting to him. But and then he joined Spencer Hawes' team back in Seattle. So he started doing like softball like during the summertime. And he's historically bad. I'm talking about like so bad. They were just like, bro. Better. No, they were just like, no, this is how I knew it wasn't a fluke. Like Spence was like, man, that motherfucker suck. And like legit, they're like, bro, everybody loves him because he's Isaiah. But he's like, bro, liability. Like liability. He's like, I didn't understand this. It made no sense. But
is there anything you enjoy not doing well? It's a question of the day.
Oh, that's a great question, bro. Is there anything I enjoy not doing well? I don't know if there's anything I enjoy not doing well. Or am I okay with not caring? Like with the expectations of people. I think at one point I cared a lot. I think now at this age it's like blah. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I don't think there's anything like not doing well. Because I comprehend like if I don't do it well, I don't do it enough to not do it well. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah. I'm trying to think of, because someone would ask me, why don't you try this or why don't you try that? And my response would be, I don't have enough time to do what I like doing the most. So if I got free time to do anything, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do what I like doing. If that makes sense.
That makes sense. I just saw something on Instagram earlier and it was talking about the guy was like, it's like rule to be great at something, you need 100 hours per year. So he's talking about like, do it 18 minutes per day. By the end of the year, you're going to automatically be like 95% better than most of the world or whatever the hell it was. And I was like, them numbers I don't know if they sound right, but I'm going to try that shit. 18 minutes?
It sounds right to me.
It sounds decent to me.
Because it's all discipline. Like most people can't do something every single day that is beneficial to them. Yeah. Which sounds crazy.
Yeah, it sounds right nowadays, bro. But when you and like it's funny, Brad Stevens always preaches that. He's like, bro, like all you gotta do is just fall in love with doing the mundane shit. He's like, a lot of people just don't want to do that. When you fall in love with doing that, everything else is gonna be easy. He's like, anybody can show up at 7 p.m. and play in front of 20,000 people. Like that's the fun part. It's like the unfun part is like going through shoot around, going through walkthrough, going through all that goofy stuff that solidifies 7 p.m. keeps, coming. So I felt that. It sounds simple, bro, but sometimes you really got to check back into what you were taught at 6 and 7. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we need to do a, I got an idea. Somebody's probably going to take it, but who cares? Get the top critics for each sport and put them through that sport's workout. The workouts of that sport. And see how good they would be. No, I think it would be a good show.
No, I think it would be a great show, man. But you can't take them people that serious, bro. Anytime somebody talk about some shit they know they sucked at age 11, bro, you can't really pay attention to them motherfuckers, bro. That shit look crazy. Like, imagine, like...
Yeah, but we understand that, which is why we got to where we got to, right? But the average human who listens to the critic doesn't understand that. And so this will put things in its proper perspective. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I feel you. That's real.
Now, you already know what it is. Point Forward is presented by DraftKings Fantasy Sports. Check out what DraftKings has to offer this season with code Point Forward, because life's more fun when you're in on the action. DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Age and eligibility restrictions apply. Void where prohibited. See DraftKings.com for details.
For today's Heard 'Em Say segment, they're saying that the Kansas City Chiefs are the next great U.S. sports dynasty with 3 Super Bowl titles in 5 years and a chance to be the first team ever to three-peat. Andre, even though your team took an L yesterday and you barely saw it because why would you watch your favorite team on the biggest sports day of the year? I don't know. But do you think with this win, Pat Mahomes' legacy is sealed, or does he still have a long way to go? Like, you even heard Pat say the other day, like, I don't know what it means because Tom Brady really, he beat me in the Super Bowl. But I mean, 3 Super Bowl wins in 5 years is pretty impressive, especially coming from you, and you're a member of a dynasty, and the last great U.S. sports dynasty, which is a pretty big deal. How do you feel about that, man?
In today's age of sports, where we hold ourselves or where others hold us, you can't even enjoy it. And so I'm hoping that Pat Mahomes is able to bask in his greatness. Because, in 2 years, who knows? Like, football, what I learned was it's hard to be great in football.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that your whole roster can change from year to year. Like, 40 to 60%, 35 to 65% of a roster is changed every year on every single team. So it's really, really hard to win multiple times in such a short period of time in football. So I give them a lot of credit. Kelsey put on. Like, he made some big plays in that game. And then what Mahomes did in overtime, like, they looked like they were, 4th and 2 or 3rd and 7.
Yeah, that's a big play. Yeah,
like, he was just making stuff happen. And I'm like, oh, my God. And I think in fantasy football, and I think, having an affinity to one team that's playing, it's hard for you to experience, like, greatness like that because you're like, just stop them. Like, what are we doing? But when you take a step back and you really digest what he was doing out there, especially when he needed to, it was amazing, man. He made the right play every single time. Brock Purdy looked really good, too.
Yeah, he stepped up, too.
Yeah, it was just, the team that was supposed to won because that's just the way it goes. And so kudos. Go ahead.
But you got to, for one, they didn't know the overtime rules. That's what messed them up, for one.
That was one dude, the fullback, right?
Oh, well, whoever. For two, if you did know the rules or whatnot, and you know Pat Mahomes' body, you taking out Pat Mahomes, bro. Pat already went in overtime thinking he's going to go get 8. That's why, you know what I mean? It's like, bro, y'all get ball first. Let's see how long it is.
Yeah, I'm confused. He made some big plays.
Juicage.
He had a big first down late in the game when he dove for it, and Des Bryant wasn't too happy about that with the new rule.
And also too, the first touchdown shouldn't have counted. They had like an illegal man downfield.
Oh, really? See, I didn't see none of that.
Yeah. So.
But I will say, it was overall, I think it was a really good game. I missed the entire halftime performance, so I've heard both sides of the coin, and I saw some, the clips of it. Her was amazing with the guitar. Big fan of her. But her was really good on the guitar. I did see Jermaine Dupri's ensemble. I won't call it a tux or a suit. Did you see that?
Yeah, I did see that. I did peep that. That was crazy. And it's a Super Bowl, man. He was doing his thing. I don't know what was going on, bro. After 50 Cent came back like 2 years ago with the little ass tank top, anything's a go.
So how was the halftime show?
I thought the halftime show was lit. I was up in there dancing. I took my shirt off. I just took my shirt off. And that was real. That wasn't like me trying to be funny. That was me, like, really, it took over me and my shirt was off, G. Like, that's how busting it was. And then, bro, did you see the memes about Alicia Keys, G?
Okay, thank you for bringing that up.
I'm talking about when... They talking about how she was singing. I'm not talking about like that Usher shit.
Oh, you talking about how she was singing. They fixed it. They fixed it on... One
meme had Usher holding her from behind and whispering, "Your ass can't sing, girl." They said she sang like that was the first word she said all day.
It might have been. You got to save your voice for your performances.
Bruh. For the Super Bowl, bro, go check that out, G. That shit was so funny.
I mean, we all have our
No, I'll tell you, you
moments.
could cut this.
I
Bro,
heard it.
cut this, bro. Did you hear it? It sounded good to you?
Yeah, I heard it.
No, bro. Wanna know why I'm saying something? Because I loved Alicia as a kid. And I listened to Alicia nonstop. So for the fact of her like not being the strongest voice was like, then I didn't know that. Because you know what I mean? I sang Diary like 100 million times, my G.
Well, a Diary, the feature like kind of stole the show. Yeah, he kind of stole the show. And then this isn't the first time.
Don't do that. But bro, are you serious? The lyrics of Diary was crazy.
No, I'm saying his vocal performance. Like he had a wave for a minute just off that one song.
Man, it's because black folks be doing too much. Like, everybody like that extra part, man.
Oh. Joe Montana, Tom Brady, the only 3-time MVPs of the Super Bowl, and now Mahomes. Was there anybody else who could have been in the race for MVP of the game? I feel like he stole it in overtime.
Yeah, I mean, who else would have got it? I just don't.
I mean, the defense went crazy on us.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if anybody, I feel like the defense. I feel like Bosa, as much as Bosa was doing yesterday, I thought Bosa should have got it.
Bosa was getting held the whole game.
But he was doing work, bro.
Yeah, and I'm saying like the touchdown, the last one, the dude wrapped his whole arm around his neck and had him in the UFC chokehold. I got the tape.
The play wasn't in that long. Pause. It happened like this, shit. Literally. Second they said hike.
All you gotta do is watch it because he came at 2 people and then they had him and then he spun off and he had him. Maybe that wasn't a play, but it was a couple plays that I seen.
I mean,
but congrats to them. Go ahead.
Yeah, when you go at Pat Mahomes, bro, you plan on scoring 7 or 8, dog. Don't do that 3-point bullshit, bro. You didn't deserve to win after you did that, bro. They seen what you wanted to do. Come on, bro, stop.
The PAT got us. That's what got us. It's always a small thing. So, it's like a fumble recovery or the punt, hit off his teammate's foot. They recover, score the next play, or the PAT we missed after a touchdown where he kicked it too low, they blocked it. Just small things like that. And then that's when you know the tide's going to turn. I had a great conversation with your guy. I got to meet your guy. I've been wanting to tell you this.
Who's my guy?
I got to sit next to 2 people I admire, Joe Burrow, and the other one's a tech guy. Not too many people know about him. They didn't even know who he was sitting next to Beyonce at the Super Bowl. His name is Jack Dorsey. But
I know Jack Dorsey.
I got a chance to sit next to converse with Joe Burrow. Super cool dude. And I mentioned that there's only one person other than Tom Brady that can beat Patrick Mahomes, and that was him. And he was like, man, you just got people play against the Kansas City Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes, and they just like fear just comes out of nowhere. Like, and I said, look, it was the same with LeBron. Like when LeBron's on the court with certain, like anybody besides, I think the Warriors, like for some reason, they just couldn't get over the hump. And I feel like that was the same thing with Patrick Mahomes, but he was speaking to like, yeah, because you just, what are you afraid of? Just go right at him. But he just keep proving us wrong. 3 times Super Bowl MVP. He's still young. I think it's too early, and I don't think we should speak on where he is in history. We just got to let it play out. Like, let him keep doing his thing instead of comparing him so often.
Point forward.
Now, another big sports spectacle we're looking forward to is the NBA All-Star Weekend this weekend in Indianapolis. As a former guest on the show, Jaylen Brown, who I was surprised and I was thrilled to see, will be entering his first All-Star Game dunk contest. And he is the first All-Star to be in dunk contest since Victor Oladipo in 2018. I think he was Wakanda Man in one of his dunks.
Dude, he came out singing in the other dunk contest.
Oh, yeah, right? He was in 2 dunk contests. You're right.
In New York. He came out singing in New York. Yeah, that was all right.
Oh, yeah, that was all right.
And Rihanna was there, too. She was smiling off it. That was all right.
Amazing how we rate our performance based on certain reactions. But, this is a real question for you. Should more stars enter the dunk contest? Is that what we're missing from that particular event over All-Star Game? And why don't we see it anymore?
Honestly, I think so, because I just think it's a treat for the fans. Like, even when I was in high school and stuff, When I used to see the dunks D Rose used to do, and I used to be like, damn, I can't wait till he enters like the dunk contest. Like, I think that would have been a treat just for not only like the hoop fans, but like for the other athletes. I think the same thing with LeBron. I just think there's certain people that you definitely want to see jump. Obviously, he's not a big name, but if you're going to put Matt McClung in there, I would have loved to see DJ Stevens. He was like a 6'5" wing, like a 48-inch vert. If you guys get a chance, look up DJ Stevens, his bounce. I think that would have been crazy too. But I feel like it's a star-studded weekend, and people do want to see stars, compete. I think everything, when you break it down, if a star does it, it's 10 times better. You know what I mean? Even when you look at the year, I think Anthony Simons won the dunk contest. That dunk contest with Cassius Stanley, that dunk contest is still good.
It was.
But people ain't appreciate shit. Like, you know what I mean? They're just like, this dunk contest was weak. Who the hell was that? And it was like, those are Anthony Simons is a top 20 scorer right now. Like, I think for the sake of just like the fan base and what you want to see, you got to give the gimmicks, because I think that's the loudest voice that comes away from the product. When you talk about the product every year, even when you're talking to Tatum, like, we got to have a good all-star game. No matter if it's good, bad, or indifference, how the fans respond to it is, the customer's always right in that situation.
Nah, I think you're right. That's a great point, actually. That's a great point. Back in the day, we would see our superstars in multiple dunk contests, not just one. And I know you speak to, you spoke about D Rose. He would have been great to see. So some guys I'm looking forward to see. Hopefully they'll enter the dunk contest. But another piece, I didn't want to forget this caveat. When you try to, I wouldn't say make it like throw some gimmick in it, but you want to have solidified NBA players, and that's no knock on anyone. But if you're going to open up the floodgates, you got to open up the floodgates. And I think that's why you have some guys who are reluctant to get into it. But that's something we got to bring back, man. There's so much money and there's so much value in our All-Star game as an event pillar for the NBA. We do have to get back to that. That's why I'm happy JB's going to do it.
Yeah, but you got also too, like, you missed out on it trying to push the Nate Robinson narrative when you wanted him to win 3 in a row.
True.
And you lost. DeMar DeRozan lost twice off 2 of the best dunks anybody ever seen. Like, you understand what I'm saying? It's like, also don't waste stars' times either. Like,
true.
They already don't want to be doing this shit, and you show up and it might be like, hey, there's going to be Dwight Howard's going to show up, a 7-footer and dunk, but not really dunk, and just throw it in the rim. Like, you understand what I'm saying? It's like, I think when it comes down to it, like, it's also got to be made it worth the while. Like, one year, D Wade helped assist. You know what I mean? He helped assist Buddy win the dunk contest.
Derrick Jones Jr.
Derrick Jones Jr. And it's like, Aaron Gordon was one of the best dunkers ever, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Okay,
so that's all I'm saying.
So who is our dream dunk contest for 2025? And it's 2025 is the Bay, and then LA is the year after that, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't be mad. I wouldn't
Big
be
cities.
mad about this. I still want to see Brown.
Nah, not Bron at 40.
What you mean? You see how Brown just dumped the whole world? What you mean? He's still jumping off the band, though? Anyway, all right.
I agree. He deserves to just show up on Sundays. That's what I'm saying. Everybody else come on Friday.
All right, I'll say this because I know him. I think Anthony Simons is a very good dunker still. I would love to see an Anthony Simons in the dunk contest.
Okay.
I would love to see Zach LaVine again.
Them injuries is catching up to him.
I guess. I'm talking about in a perfect way. Anytime you windmilling from the free throw line, you got a 90% chance.
No, you saying these superstars, I got some names for you.
Some superstar. Who would be Paul George? I guess would he be a good?
He was in it before.
Yeah, but I don't like long athletes dunking. Like, you know what I mean? Like Paul, like
it looked too easy because like Rudy Gay had a good dunk contest. His looked too easy.
Yeah, it just looked like he wasn't even like. Let me see who else. Shit, Ja Morant.
Oh, easy. Oh yes.
Ja Morant.
Ja got to get a dunk contest. Ja got to get a dunk contest.
Yeah. De'Aaron Fox would have to be one.
Oh, Swiper Fox would be a good one.
Yeah, he would be dope. And,
you forgetting two people. You forgetting one person.
Who's a high flyer? Name him. Who is it?
Anthony Edwards.
You want to see Edwards? I don't know how great of a. I don't know how. He said it himself. He's like, I'm an in-game dunker. When dudes say that, I believe
agree.
it. So sometimes I'm like, if a dude is saying that because he would do it, he's like, bro, I'm just an in-game dunker. I can't really dunk like that. That's my only thing. He said it 3 times. So that's why I'm like,
I got you. But you got to do it anyway because Dominique Wilkins was an in-game dunker.
Yeah, that's real. That's real. I mean, and Jordan's, and they stole it from him in 84.
They did do that.
That's real.
And
I think
we got one more. I'm making him do it. You got to do it.
Mitchell, he already won it, but Donovan Mitchell would be good.
He was in that contest before? He won one?
He won it his rookie year back in 2017.
Okay. He would be a good one. I got a kid that would be really good.
Who?
Jalen Green.
Oh, I was just about to say that. When she said superstars, bro, he just dumped the shit out of Buddy the other day, bro.
Left hand. Devontae Murray.
My
God.
Right?
Oh, my God.
I'm like, bro, what?
You say he took off?
Trampoline? Bro, it was like this. I had to stand up. Bro, I had to stand up and do it. And like, how you
It was a spin. Like he spun off of him and then took off backwards feet with the left.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness.
And dunked him, bro. I had a triple-double that night, too.
Mm-hmm. That was the first triple-double. Yeah. You got 6 guys.
That's a straight dunk contest.
You got Jaylen Brown, Jalen Green, Donovan Mitchell, Anthony Simons, Anthony Edwards.
Yeah.
And I know we forgetting somebody.
I don't know who jumping like
Obi
that.
Toppin need to come back too. He had a good dunk contest.
Yeah. He did have a good one.
Obi Toppin would be good.
I think that's it, bro.
Oh.
I think that might.
JK guy getting dunk contest. Jonathan Kuminga.
Oh, Kuminga?
He's an in-game dunker. Yeah. He an in-game dunker, but he 20 years old. Go figure out how to do some crazy dunks.
That's real.
And he's a soccer guy. He can figure out how to bounce the ball off his head and go dunk it or do something. That'd be a good dunk contest.
That's real.
Dunk contest winner odds for our DraftKings odds of the week. Mac McClung is the favorite, followed by Jaylen Brown. Jacob Toppin, which is O.B. Toppin's brother. Jaime Jaquez Jr. is the least favorite at plus 500, but I didn't know he had bounced like that. I've been seeing him with some dope dunks this year. He caught a couple lobs. He's been finishing over a few people. So dunk contest is it'll be interesting this year. But in San Fran and L.A., that's my duty to get the dunk contest back jumping for the next 2 years.
Get in on the action with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. New customers who deposit $5 or more can get a no-sweat bet up to $1,000 back in a bonus bet. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code POINTFORWARD. New customers can get a no-sweat bet up to $1,000 if your first bet loses. Only on DraftKings Sportsbook with code POINTFORWARD. The crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Or in West Virginia, visit www.1800gambler.net. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort, Kansas, 21 plus, age varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. One no-sweat bet per new customer. Issued as one bonus bet on an amount of initial losing bet. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. See dkng.com/promos for deposit, wagering, and eligibility restrictions, terms, and responsible gambling resources.
Point. Forward.
For this week's That's a Bar, Lakers GM Rob Pelinka, also Andre's old agent, weighs in on their approach to the trade deadline. We're not fearful of using future assets for now. It's just got to be using future assets for now in the right way, in the right deal. So Dre, considering that when you break it down and you say like we're not, obviously there wasn't much on the trade market if you think about it, but when you look at it in that term, is that kind of saying like, well, shit, we might not just win this year. It might be next year we have to hold off and win next year and see what we got with this team currently? Right. Is that like the smartest way of doing it without forcing your hand in that sense? Because obviously there's a couple people that are trying to make trades for that didn't really move the needle, that made no sense. Like Murray from
Atlanta?
From Atlanta. I didn't really see that happening or that really making a big jump for him.
I mean, Rob is very strategic. I think they've always positioned themselves to be better going forward at the right time. Like timing is everything. So if it's not the right move right now and you look back in December of next season and you say that was a bad trade, it was rushed to try to win it last year, and we didn't win it last year, which is right now, then you know you're going to be pissed. And so if no one really puts you in a position to really go after a title, then you're kind of like sitting in that middle tier. You know, I think they're 9th in the West right now, 8th, 9th. And so they're sitting right there. And anything can happen in the West, but I think you have a lot of possibilities this summer. And I mean a lot of possibilities this summer in terms of, you know, extensions, free agents. You never know what teams might just decide like it's over or we need to do, you know, a revamp. And I think I heard something funny on ESPN. Somebody said Chicago is rebuilding, but they just don't know it. And so you always have a couple of teams that fall in that bucket. Like a rebuilding team, the team just doesn't know they're rebuilding. And so you can make some moves. I know, you know, DeMar's name has always been thrown in connection to the Lakers. You know, it's quieted down, but I think you got to look at salary caps as well. Could LeBron leave if you don't make a move? Like realistically, you think about that at the same time. I mean, who has cap space? You know, you got 2 tiers now. The apron, first apron, second apron. This is the first time we'll be in a free agency under the new CBA rules in terms of the salary cap and the aprons. So it's going to, you know, really determine how this new system is going to work going forward and how, you know, teams are looking at being strategic around it. So, you know, Rob is always a person who's trying to think short and long term at the same time, which is pretty tall task in itself. So, you know, I guess we'll see. Do the Lakers have a real shot right now in your mind?
I think with Brian, you always have a chance, especially considering when you do the 1-game situations. Obviously, I don't know. You know, at the way that the Denver Nuggets are really playing at this high level, they're definitely like the team to beat, especially coming out of the West, in my opinion. Or even the Clippers, man. That's a tough team to see 4 times. I just know for sure. You know, you always got to give Brian a chance in a 4-game series. And I think that's probably what Rob is really doing to it, being like, well, does this really move the needle, or can Brian and AD really get this certain series get won with the help of these new trades or not? You know what I mean? And I think Dinwiddie can help a little bit. But other than that, I don't really see them getting, you know, switched up.
If I'm with the Lakers, I'm trying to make a big move that will give me someone who can kind of take them the torch from LeBron in his last year or two. So pairing him up with a superstar that can kind of carry the torch. So I'm thinking of how I can maneuver that this summer as well. Like that's the big thing to me.
Yeah, I just wonder who that is. Who is that?
Yeah, I have no idea myself.
I don't. Yeah, what are you gonna package them up? You gonna package up AD and 3 of them?
No, I mean, yeah, you have 3 guys, and you look for
I'm just saying, like they got 3 first-round picks this summer, don't they?
Yeah, you package them up. I mean,
or futures first-round picks.
If the Celtics don't win it this year, like when do they say, hey, there's always grumblings about that duo. Like I'm just gonna state it because I'm fans of both of the guys. Both of them are my guys, but you just keep hearing it. At some point, like they got to win it this year. Like when is their clock starting to tick? You know, similar to OKC with KD and Russ.
No, you're absolutely right, man. But sometimes those rumblings are what people think and like it should have happened, and then like what you know, bro. Like right now, it's like when Jamal Murray don't get his credit as one of the top guards. Like it's just people just forgetting. Like the Nuggets is not no easy go, and then when you have to go play them in Denver, in that altitude, G is even more of a cheat code. And Jokic just, I think it's PER. He just passed MJ for like the best PER of all time. You know what I mean? Like
that's impressive.
Like,
I didn't know that.
So like this is stuff they're not telling you. So when it's coming down to it, and it's like, what you want to do? Shoot yourself in the foot? Who would I trade Jaylen Brown for? For a Booker? Like I'm going to go get another one. I'm not going to go get a lesser. I'm going to go get the exact same thing to see who we winning with. Mm-hmm. And one thing they be forgetting about is like, bro, like Jimmy, like Steph, KD, and all them, they're doing it for that long pause. Like even when you look at like when KD is done and say if Book and Bill were still playing together, what would Tatum and Brown do to Book and Bill in the head up?
Punish him.
So that's what I'm saying. So it's like, man, are they busy? Are they trying to take the lead, or are they just stuck in current? Like, you know what I mean? And being like, all right, bro, this shit gonna muddy up, but we gonna get 2 or 3. But it's don't sleep on the Nuggets, man. The Nuggets is everything and more. And Malone coaching his ass off, and Jokic and bro, Jamal Murray is a 1B. He's not a 1A. He giving a lot of.
Yeah.
He giving a lot, and every time somebody walk in, he giving them 30-something along with Buddy.
He do that.
And when Bruce Brown come back next year, they're gonna have the trap right back jumping. No, I'm just saying, but it's the truth.
You're right.
That's
he had a
top
crack.
team. They talking about like, yeah, what's up with the duo? It's like, nah, bro. Like, you go put a weight vest on and go play 3 games in Denver.
Yeah.
Versus that offense, bro. That shit is a cheat code.
Point. Forward.
We're now deep into the month of February, which means we've all been actively celebrating Black History Month, with the exception of myself, which is every day. It is one of my favorite times of the year because we are celebrating Black excellence and highlighting the journey of our people all month long. Knowing your history and where you come from is very important to me. Now let's take a look back on some great highlights from some of our pioneers. Earl Lloyd, which is a name most of us know, first Black player to play in the NBA, which was Halloween 1950 for the Syracuse Nationals. He went on to play over 500 games and won an NBA title in the 54-55 season. Don Barksdale, which brings up memories of The Wire. In 1953, as a member of the Boston Celtics, he became the first African-American to be named to the All-Star team. Also, he became the first African-American to make the USA Olympic team and capture gold. Wayne Embry, very, very familiar name. He was the original. After I give you this take, ET, I want you to give me who's the version of him today. Wayne Embry, the first Black GM in league history for the Milwaukee Bucks. He was nicknamed the Wall for his draft picks. During his tenure, he drafted Dr. J, Alex English, Marcus Johnson, and Sidney Moncrief. That is crazy.
That is OD. We should know more. We should know more about him because that's OD.
Oh my God!
If he did that at today's age, he would went to a new team and got ownership.
Yep, all the love that Bob Myers gets.
He would have got that, bro. That's crazy, bro. That sound like you saying who that sound like? Bob Myers, right?
They on Bob Myers' ass right now though for what he said last week.
What did he say?
He said, well, he didn't say anything technically wrong. He said Kevin Durant was the best player in 2 finals that featured LeBron James and Steph Curry. So I think the people in the Bay just don't like any credit being taken away from Steph and what Steph was able to do.
I don't know, G. Like KD just not supposed to be part of that conversation, fam. Like, do you understand what I'm saying? To be like, this is a one-on-one conversation, and now KD joined in. It's like, yeah, he's the best. It's like, I guess, bro. Like, who Brian's supposed to worry about, Kevin or Steph? Like, you know what I mean?
Man, we was worried about Kyrie. Nightmares.
No, I feel you, bro. I'm just saying, bro, like, it's so much, like, stress removed when KD joins y'all, bro. Pressure is a real thing. That's like when you go from college and you shoot in the 1-and-1s, they're going to, like, automatically shooting, like, the double bonus. It's like, bro, pressure is a real thing, and it's a reason why you never were able to do it again. Like, you understand what I'm saying?
But we're going to look back on history the same way we looking back right now on Wayne Embry and how great he was. In 30, 40 years, you and I are going to be talking about, if we're still here, we will be talking about
a report.
How good Kyrie is historically. Like, I don't know if there are too many basketball players better than Kyrie Irving. And for some reason, we always go through our decades or centuries, or we go through our time zones where we just don't want to give certain people credit.
That's life, man.
It's life, but all right, act like Kyrie was Kyrie. Also, Violet Palmer, first Black female referee. Violet was super cool too. Like, you can actually have a conversation with her, which you cannot do anymore. Fines are up, texts are up. Bill Russell, first Black MVP award winner. He averaged 16 and 22. Question, are we allowed to be critical of our pioneers and the shortcomings of their game? Because we do it to the young fellas, but can we do it to the...
Yeah, why not?
Because I watched a documentary on Bill Russell, and I wouldn't say he was a skilled basketball player in the sense of how we define skilled basketball players, but he was the ultimate winner, probably the greatest winner of all time, above Tom Brady, and probably very high IQ and a human being. And so you can be critical of folks.
As a player. Yeah, he won 2 rings as a player coach as well.
So he was the first black head coach. Actually, I didn't know that. He was the first black head coach. Wow. He took over the role as a player coach after Red Auerbach retired. And he was the first black head coach to win an NBA title. Like you said, he won 2 as a player. So it's interesting for Boston to be the Boston we know. That's where the first black, a lot of things happen as I'm looking back and I'm seeing.
Yeah.
But I think they knew the only way we can win is to bring them in. This is true. And so I wanted to ask you this question. I've been thinking about this since last night. How does one become player coach, and how many minutes is Evan Turner playing as the player coach?
Man, I'm giving myself a smooth 35. That's
and
honorable.
How many shot attempts you get?
Shit, 35. So let's just say we split 35, 36 minutes over 4 quarters. It's 9 minutes per quarter. 5. Give me about 20. Give me about 20, 21. Yeah, I get about 21 shots. 5 shots a quarter, just so you know I'm up in the building. How about you? What you doing? You playing the whole 48?
Who team am I on?
I don't know. I feel like when people play 43 minutes, you might as well play the whole 48. I never got when people be like, yeah, I'm averaging 42 a game. Like, bro, you might as well just stay out there and rest.
No, you need the minutes. I remember I averaged 40 minutes a couple of times, but I never, looking back, I never really thought like I need a break, or I never really thought I'm in for a long time. I'm thinking back like, when did I get my breaks? But then now, you know, as I got older, I was like, man, put me in when it matters. Don't waste my time. Don't waste my time.
That's
Just
real.
put me in.
Right.
Like, let me get a rhythm.
That's real.
And then put me in when it matters. So when it get real, all right, cool, I go in. But don't be subbing me out after I miss a shot. Like, I can't take that. You sub me out after I miss a shot, I'm liable to keep running to the locker room. I catch y'all tomorrow at practice.
Yeah, if that's the case, man. We like, what? So when we start saying that, you know what I mean? Like, that's just a crazy. And then you sit there, you watch one nigga shoot 48 feet out. And you'll be like, damn, G, so this is better than my mismatch post up?
Right?
Yeah, you be like, all right, whatever, G. Rock out.
Point. Forward.
We were fortunate enough to sit down with Ken Griffey Jr. to talk about his life and incredible rise to greatness. Obviously, we spoke earlier about me being a switch hitter on the baseball field, and E.T.'s confidence in the sport as well, similar to his confidence on the Connect Four grid.
Okay, so look, so all right, bet. The kid I used to play with, pause, he's a current beat writer for the White Sox.
Oh.
This is facts. So kid you not. Damn, what my man is John Stankovitz. That's his name, John Stankovitz. So I'm gonna go on Twitter. I'm gonna hit him up. I'm like, bro, can you just please tell your dad, or just vouch, bro? I bet like 6-something. That's why I didn't want to tell you. It sounded like a lie. That's what I'm trying to tell. That's why I didn't want to tell you. I might rather sound like
T-ball?
a lie.
Was this T-ball?
No, bro. I was 12 and I was playing in the white areas too. So you know them boys was playing baseball.
They could play some ball.
Yeah, that's when they could play some ball. And I was out there playing some ball, G, in between. We went 15-0 and got blew out in the playoffs. All right, I'm done.
That's usually how it went.
That's how it went. They beat the shit out of us.
We are here with someone who made me like really dream as a kid. Like, it's kind of strange. It's only a handful of guys who I idolized. I feel like he should have some shares in Disney, who owns ESPN, because he was the reason why I watched SportsCenter in the summertime.
That's right.
Over and over and over. Everybody welcome Ken Griffey Jr.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
What's up? What's up? What's going on with you? How you been? What's been new ever since you stopped hitting home runs? I heard you picked up the camera. You're doing a hell of a job with photographing.
Oh no, I've had a camera in my hands for a while. It's just that nobody gets to see me. You know, when you retire, you can sort of blend in and do things. I mean, I picked up a camera because I wanted to be able to watch my kids play, and that was a way of me sitting there focusing on them and seeing what they were doing right and wrong. Not so much documenting it, but just being able to be a dad, uh, which is sometimes tough when you're in the spotlight.
Yeah, we were talking about that earlier. I hang out with Andre, and we can't do anything without people going crazy. But you're arguably one of the greatest baseball players of all time, and a lot of people's childhood heroes in regards to the tone you set and like just the overall swagger. I mean, you're junior. What was that like growing up? And sometimes, like when you walked away from the game, was little things of just showing up to like normal events and everything? Is that kind of like therapeutic, or like getting out the spotlight? Was that something you always was just like, I can't wait till this is done, and I can just go
No,
be a fan?
it comes with the territory. There's certain times where, I just need to be dad, and I think people have to respect that. And but for the most part, you understand when you leave your house, it is what it is. But with the kids and things like that, and whether it's like Dad's Donut Day or father daughter, things like that. My daughter was the one who was like, "Why are they bothering you? You're with me." And I was sitting there, and she's like 5 at the time.
Oh, I got a 6-year-old, and she told my mother, we were in the car.
I've been there.
We were in the car riding home from school, and my phone kept ringing. And it was my mom was the last call, and she was like, "Well, y'all stop disrupting us. Like, Daddy's with me. We'll call you back. Bye." I'm like, "Girl, you can't talk like that to grandma." And it's funny because grandparents are totally different than the parents we grew up with. Like, my mom used to whoop our behinds, but now my 6-year-old can just get away with telling her to get off the phone.
Oh yeah, I remind my dad all the time he is not the same man that raised me, and he starts laughing because one day Trey was probably 9, and him and my dad were riding, and my mom was in the car, and my dad said something. He was like, he turned around, looked at my dad, and said, "Hey, you're not gonna treat me like you treated my daddy."
Oh.
My mom starts laughing. My dad was looking at him like, I was like, "Oh, it ain't gonna end well for you." But they can do certain things. I mean, Trey was 3. He drew on my mom's couch.
Ooh.
She had a white couch that she got in 1978 from Japan. And he took a blue Sharpie and drew all over it. And all I could say is, I looked at my mom and looked at Trey. I said, "I'm gonna take this butt whooping this one time for you." And she was like, "He's such a little Picasso." And I'm over there like,
Oh.
I just signed my death certificate. And he's over there, he's a Picasso?
So we all have something in common. We're all parents, and clearly, Dre has a son that's playing sports. You've had 2 kids go to the University of Arizona, Dre's alma mater.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes down to just being a parent and overall support system, what was it like? How involved were you in their sports, or were you just showing up to the stands as a fan and just not trying to put any type of pressure on them?
No, I don't put any pressure on my kids as far as what they do. And what I mean by that, their overall effort is what I care about. Because you give me an effort on the field, you're going to give me an effort off the field. You're going to give me an effort in life. You can see how kids are when they're up by 20, if they're showboating and things like that, or if they're down by 20 and they still grinding. That's the kid that I want, that still want to go out there and battle. The guys who are up by 20 showboating all the time, it depends on the circumstances when you do it. But for the most part, I want that kid that's going to be there all the time. But I try to allow the coaches to coach.
Yeah.
But also have to be dad. And I know the pitfalls of being a father, now a father, and I was the son of a professional athlete. So I see all the little, sly comments that these coaches make when they don't want to coach a child, because let's face it, some of these guys, their careers didn't go so well, and they can't take it out on me, and they can't take it out on you guys, but they can take it out on a kid that all he wants to do is go out there and play. And that's so sad that our society is like that they're going to take it out on someone who just wants to go out there and prove that he belongs here. And, I've seen it over and over and over again to my kids, to other kids. I tell people all the time, Trey, Taryn, and Tevin, it's not a feel-good story if they do something. But it's a feel-good story if, this kid is, his dad is in jail, his mom is this, and he, but I can't shoot a jump shot for my kids. I can't run a route for my kid. I can't catch a fly ball for my kid. So all I want them is to be out there and be known as, want them to be known for them, not for me. But it's sometimes difficult that, they can compare, me to them.
Yeah.
Well, name me 15 baseball players that you can compare me to. So why are you going to, because we have the same last name? Yeah. It's tough. I mean, you look at, Michael Jordan's kids getting compared to Michael. I look at Bo Outlaw's son. I look at all these kids who just want to be kids and go out there and play the game and be compared to them. I mean, media, they don't like being compared. Yeah. I remember when, who was it? Bobby Knight went after Jeremy Schaap.
You want your dad. You want your dad.
Yeah.
Your dad.
Yeah. And they didn't like it. So, if they don't like it, can you imagine what a 13 through 20-year-old feels the same way? I mean, just be fair. That's all, I think as an athlete, that's all we care about is the fairness of day in and day out.
Well, you talked about earlier discussing with your kids growing up with a father that was a famous athlete and a professional athlete, but you also had the same luck. You watched your father win back-to-back World Series with the Cincinnati Reds. Talk about the upbringing and being, junior, the kid, before becoming the man.
No, my dad was a dad. He just let me be a kid. It was no, hey, you got to play this. My brother played at Ohio State, played college football. I got a cousin who broke Tony Dorsett's high school rushing records. Terrell Pryor, quarterback. I mean, the list goes on. I got a nephew at Fresno State, who is a cornerback. I mean, my dad is that dad that just like, hey, y'all go out there and carve your own path. And whatever I can do to help, I'm here.
And he helped you negotiate your first contract with the Mariners, correct?
Yeah, and I'm still waiting. He's still waiting on his 3%. But I tell him he's just dad.
Yeah,
he can't take my money.
That's off the strength, huh?
Right, that's part of the deal.
So me freshly being retired. What was
it
like for you?
You put on a suit real quick. I ain't used to that.
So what was it like for you? I think people don't understand. I don't want to call it trauma, but the traumas of being a professional athlete, and then that your lifestyle just completely changing, regardless of how much money you saved up or not, when you're out of the game. And so, what's that first year like for you? And what did you do, and what would you have done differently in terms of how you transitioned out the game?
Well, when I retired was the middle of the season, and I went straight into AAU girls basketball because that's the high point of the season. So I literally bought an RV because I said, I am not staying in some of these hotels.
Yeah. Yes. Hey, bad.
Yeah. So I bought an RV and traveled around and was just a dad. I mean, it was funny. It's like all the dads was like, I'd get there early enough because, you're playing 5 and 6 games a day.
Yeah.
Yep.
And people, the traveling to and from, the hotel, back to the gym, back to the hotel to get something to eat. I was like, I'm not doing all that. I'm going to sit here and, sometimes, college football is basketball being played. I want to watch sports too. So, I sat there. And my first trip, I could tell you, it was Atlanta, Tennessee, Chicago, back to Atlanta. Then it went to New Orleans, and then Augusta.
Yep.
That was my introduction to AAU girls basketball. And I was like, and I looked at my wife. I was like, "You did all this without me?" She was like, "Yeah, for the last 4 years." I was like, "Ooh." And then I started thinking, maybe I do want to go back playing baseball. It's much easier. It's different because you're sitting there going, like you said, what do I do? Because it is, one day you're in uniform and the next day you're sitting there going, okay. I did tease my friends because they were, every day that, 4th of July, that they would be waiting on me to go to the ballpark and be out there in their robes waving to me as I'm going to the ballpark while they get ready to start barbecuing. So I did the same to them, but I did it for a week straight while they was going to work after the 4th of July.
Right, got
Get
you.
up and one just like, hey, I'll see y'all when y'all get back. But, having, a support network is probably the most important thing because it's a shock. I mean, I've been playing baseball since I was 3, and all of a sudden at age 40, I'm done. I'm coming home and you're just sitting there like, okay, what's next? I own car dealerships, so I was, okay as far as being able to do something. Mm-hmm. But just the fact, it took me a good 4 months to finally set in. But I still had the attitude of, January 1st that I would still get ready to go back to playing baseball. And it literally took me 5 years to break that. Oh. Finally, Melissa looked at me and said, look, man, you ain't going back to playing baseball. So this attitude that you have January 1st has got to stop.
But it's kind of ingrained in you.
Yeah.
You played 22 years in the major league. Yeah. And didn't you win like comeback player of the year in like year 16? 18? Yeah. Yeah. Most people are on a victory tour, so it says everything that occurs with you.
Right.
I wanted to go back and ask you a question because we can correlate it to basketball, but right now, LeBron James, a great athlete. For the past 4 or 5 years, he's been lobbying and screaming about how much he wants to play in the NBA on the same team as his son. Mm-hmm. And considering you and your father kind of been there, done that, how do you feel about that situation? Is there any advice you can give, like be careful what you wish for? And how was it when you and your father played?
No, I had an absolute blast with my dad. Yeah. He paid for all the lunches and dinners. That was number one. I told him he was Mr. Provider. But, when he got released from the Reds and he actually asked me, he said, hey, the Mariners are interested. The decision is up to you, but they want me to come play. And I'm going to leave it up to you. And I was like, I would love for you to come play. Yeah. And he said, if not, if you don't want that, then I'll retire. But to have my dad in the same clubhouse where I can really sit there and learn about the game of baseball. People look at it. If you look at when my first year, and I had great mentors, Harold Reynolds, Alvin Davis, Mickey Brantley. Let's see, Harold, Al, Dave, Jeffrey Leonard. All these guys were in my corner every day. The training staff, Rick Griffin and his crew, and had great teammates, with Jay and Edgar. And then later on, Dan Wilson. These guys were always in my corner. But, at 19, you don't know anything. You're just playing on pure instincts and adrenaline. Mm-hmm. And when my dad got there, I could actually see what it was like to be a pro. Yeah. And if you look at my 3, 4, and 5 years, I went from he could play to, he can really play. Yeah. And it was all because of me being able to watch him and understand, this is what you do in certain situations. I could set this guy up. Okay, I could do this.
And that's when you
it was all because of him.
Is that during that time? Is that when you changed your swing? I know you said that you used to posture down a little bit, and when you realized you start standing up more, you start adding 40 feet to each swing.
Yeah, it was just. I mean, I patterned my game so much like my dad that it, from the batting stance until I stood up one day and started hitting the ball left field 40 feet further. I was like, well, I'm gonna stay right here, just hang on. And and people think that it's just like, oh, you didn't work at it. Yeah, I had to work at it. You just don't show up and be like, oh, okay. I mean, but there's certain pitches that I couldn't hit, that I couldn't drive, which was the ball low and away, where before I could get to that ball, hit it down the left field line and, get a double out of it. Now I just lay off that pitch because it's a ball anyway. And, he's got to bring the ball up and I can hit it out.
Well, while we're still on the topic of baseball, you said you didn't feel any crazy pressure because of the support system you had. But let's go back to when you were drafted. You were drafted to the Seattle Mariners as like the number 1 pick for a franchise team.
Out of high school.
Out of high school.
Yeah, but there was 20 years of guys that were drafted before me.
Yeah.
Out of high school. Darnell Coles was another one. Yeah. Every year there's a first round pick.
Yeah.
Every year there's a 1-1. I just happened to be that year. And, like I said, there was really no pressure by my dad, my mom. The internal of growing up is probably the things that, hey, you're now a professional athlete. There's things that you can and can't do now. And one of them is going to play, tackle football outside in the snow in December with your friends when they doing it.
It's interesting because I never knew that you were this football player and you got a scholarship to the University of Michigan.
Well, I like to, think about this. I was born in a town that's a half an hour from Pittsburgh.
Mm-hmm.
It's everything is football there.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you look at Michael's first love is baseball.
Yes.
Yeah. AI's first love is football. Yeah. Everybody has a love.
Devontae Adams' first love is basketball.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, these guys, we love to play sports. And just because you're good at something doesn't mean that it's going to work out for you. For me, I looked at it was like, I got a chance to be 1-1. My dad was, 29th round or 20 something. I want to say 24th or 29th round. And, one of the last people picked in that era, in that draft. And, for me to say, hey, I'm a 1-1 meant a lot because I know how much that he put in it and I put in it as a kid. Him, hey, we're going to go out there. You're going to do this. I was a pitcher first baseman. Like I only played 2 years of high school baseball. I only played, 3 years of outfield before I got drafted. I was a pitcher first baseman before that. Yeah. And y'all had that look.
No, I didn't know that. No, you just moving the way you do in the outfield. I figured like it's so natural. You running the walls. I figure you've been practicing that for quite some time. I bet you said it earlier. You just playing off adrenaline and feel. And so I go back to sports have become so specialized, and you don't see the players who are. A lot of football players get drafted in baseball, or you got some baseball players who play quarterback. There were a lot of multi-sport athletes who could transition their abilities to different sports, and now it's become more specialized. But then we're seeing a lot of different types of injuries than we did. Like, we didn't have any of the athletic training or any of this technology that we had when we were growing up, and now all these kids have access to it, but we're seeing a lot of injuries and a lot of kids being, overdeveloped or overused when they get to the pros. And so, like, what's your feeling on, being a multi-sport athlete? It felt like you had great
play
feel.
Play everything.
Yep.
We had a kid on, our football team who was on a national soccer team. And I told our coach, all he got to do is show up on Friday. Because you want to give kids options. That's the thing is like, I have a big problem when the head coach of a summer ball AAU is now driving a better car than 90% of the guys that he's coaching, or the kids that the parents' cars. I think that's a bad example. I understand that, yeah, it's a big business and something, but to me, I show up when I coach Pop Warner football. I showed up in a Jeep. I didn't want people to know. I mean, everybody knew that I had a better car and other cars, but I wanted everybody to know, hey, I'm just like everybody else. My equipment goes in here and we're going to roll with it. But, my football worked on my moves for my basketball. My basketball worked on the quickness for baseball. So we cross-trained all year. Mm-hmm. And kids are not cross-training in all year. And, you're seeing these guys, little leaguers who are throwing, 40, 50 games in the season. And you don't even see big league guys doing that.
Right. So speaking of, you talked about cross-training, which has me thinking about, you were right in that era where Nike told stories around their athletes, and you were able to just open up a huge market, you and Bo Jackson. And we talk about, your image in terms of your trademark, your hat, wearing it backwards, and the swing, man. When you were playing, how involved were you with that? And, your thought process around protecting that image? Because as athletes nowadays, name, image, and likeness is a big thing. The brand's everything. And it felt like in your day, it wasn't about the brand. It was the production that made the brand. Now it feels like the brand is made, and then it's like you're trying to produce to live up to it, where,
No.
So just talk about kind of like
how you... I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that. Nowadays, hey, we're going to play off potential. I mean, it took me 6 years to get a shoe. Mm-hmm. And now guys want them after day one.
Out the gate.
Yeah. I had to earn everything, and it's a little tougher for me because people always thought that, hey, you earned it. I mean, your dad gave you everything. No, he made me earn it. Mm-hmm. And the same thing that goes in my house. My kids, they got to earn it. It's not going to be given to you. The only thing that's going to be fair is what happens in my house. Outside these houses is not fair. That's the only thing, the advice that I give my kids. But, oh yeah, I used to tease, Jay Buhner used to tease me, like if I go like 0 for 2, 0 for 3, he'd be like, what you selling? Because everything was for sale. You get a couple of hits, you may buy something, but it's a matter of, I had to produce day in and day out. And I didn't have the luxury of some of the guys on the field. If I go 0 for 4, it's going to be in the paper. And people always wonder, people wonder, they ask me, hey, have you ever had a big moment? And I go, no. And they go, you've never had a big moment. And I have to explain that every at bat, every fly ball, every time on the base is a big moment, because I'm getting the best that these guys are offering day in and day out. Nobody's going to sit there and go, oh, he's 0 for 2. Let me throw this 84-mile-an-hour fastball down the middle and see how far he can hit it.
Right.
They trying to make me 0 for 3, 0 for 4. And they know, where I'm at in the order. So I'm that guy that you're not going to let beat you. So I know that I got to pick and choose my spots, to expand the zone, to see if I can hit a ball out to tie it up. But I'm getting the best day in and day out. Every day. And you can see the guys now. I mean, we can go on. Ain't nobody going to sit there and go, hey, Steph is 1 for 13. I'm going to go ahead and let him shoot this 3. Right. No, they go get on them. Same thing with LeBron. Same thing with Mike. Same thing with, a lot of guys that have played this game, the greats that played, each sport. They're not going to sit there and go, hey, this is a big moment. No, because every time they touch the ball, it's a big moment.
I got a question. You're so humble in how you carry yourself. It never felt like you thought of yourself as above anyone. But we speak a lot to your ego in a good way. Like you need your ego. Sometimes you got to build yourself up, especially in slumps with all the hard work you put in. So what was your disposition like in terms of how you saw yourself amongst the greats while you were playing? Did you realize the impact you had, and did you realize how good you were?
Yeah, I knew how good I was at an early age. As far as I was better than everybody on the team. But it didn't hit me until my dad sat me down when I was 20. He goes, look, I played with some of the best players in the world, and you are far better than them.
Ooh. Now, what does that unlock?
And I'm just,
That's crazy.
I was just looking at him like, I was sitting there like, is he saying that to just help my confidence, or is he saying it to that he really means it? And he was like, and he started naming off names. He said, I have never got so many fastballs and pitches to hit and sitting anywhere in a batting order until I got in front of you. And I was just sitting there like, okay, now I understand what I can do. And he was like, you can do certain things. And he would give me little breadcrumbs, like going through the streak of 8 in a row. He would just say, you got one pitch a day and don't miss it. And that's the hardest thing to try to teach, because you can go out there in basketball, you could shoot 30 times and still walk out the gym with 60. In baseball, I got 4 chances to hit if they want me to hit. Mm-hmm. It's the only sport that defense has the ball.
Damn.
So if they don't want you to play, you don't have to play.
So what was, I'm transitioning to, your passions right now. One of them, you mentioned Augusta. What's your best handicap? How good have you gotten in golf?
I was down to a 2-1.
Okay. All right. I got down to a 2-7.
Yeah.
Now I'm back to an 8.
Yeah.
It's gone.
You got young kids. Don't worry about it.
Right?
It'll come back.
They just get in the way.
When they start going to high school and you got to drive them to school. It's only high school because then they gone all day.
True.
You can't do it on a half day. When they gone the whole day, when you got to pick them up at like 6, then your golf game's gonna get better.
Right.
Like my son's sophomore year, Tevin's sophomore year, I think I played 249 rounds.
Oh. He played every day except the weekend.
What you mean? His game was on Friday.
Oh, wow. You living a life. And what's your top 5 favorite golf courses?
Ooh. Top 5. All right, we're going to go with not in any particular order.
No order.
Okay. Old Head. Grove.
Ooh.
Jordan.
Let's go with Cypress.
Ooh. Now that's the one.
Yeah. Pebble when it's tournament time, when it's really nice. Like when it's like 65 is really nice.
Spyglass better than Pebble.
Yeah, but not when it's tournament time, though.
I ain't seen it tournament time, so I'm rocking. I got you. I got you. I understand.
I'd probably put Pine Valley in there.
Pine Valley's the hardest golf course in the universe.
That day you must have hit the ball a little crooked.
I wasn't that good, but I could. It's blind shots. And it was the first time in my life I did exactly what the caddy told me to do, and I couldn't find my ball. He said I hit it too far.
You shoot with people's hands and feet in your face, and you can't hit a blind shot?
No. I mean, like you got blind landing areas, and so if those are the courses where it's like hit it at that cloud, and I was like, that's my weakest spot off the tee, but I did exactly what he said, and he was like, perfect. As it's in the air, ball nowhere to be found. Like that's how tricky that golf course is.
Yeah, it's a tough one.
but great course. I got to go. I wasn't that good when I played it, so I got to get back.
Maybe they'll let us go back.
I'm sure you can call somebody.
They'll let us come back.
All right. We gonna work on that. Well, we talk a lot about like athletes and how do you network and build relationships. Talk to us about what you did for Nike and how that relationship is still going today.
I think when you look at it, it's very simple. You just got to be you. People don't understand that what you see is what you get. I'm not changing. I enjoy what I did. Yes, I understand that certain times I have to be an adult about certain things, but I love the game of baseball. I love football. I love basketball. I don't compare eras. You can't tell me, Michael could have done this and LeBron could have done that and Willie Mays could have done this and Hank Aaron. They played in that era, and that's who you compare them to, the guys that they're playing against. I don't, and people go, that's not true. I go, it is true. Because how many home runs would Hank Aaron and Willie Mays hit if they didn't worry about getting knocked down by Bob Gibson? If you're not worried about getting knocked down, you sit in the rocking chair all day. Your swing's a little tough, a little lighter. You can go and swing for the fences, compared to, you make one swing and a miss, and they're like, oh, okay, take this one with you, So I've had a hard time comparing, different eras, because I think that the rules have changed, the guidelines have changed, the people have changed, the training has changed. And so I just look at it in a way that, I let the guys, enjoy what you're seeing. And I know that people have to talk about it. I'm just not that one. But, Nike has been with me from day one. Lynn Merritt and the Tolan family are my kids' godfathers and godparents, and you have a guy who played against my dad, Bobby Tolan, and you have Lynn, who has been, and the general.
Yep.
He's, when the funny thing is when Kyrie was hot. That's my daughter's favorite player at the time. Her favorite player is AI, and then Kobe. But when he was hot, there would be a package of size 8 girls basketball shoe in her team colors, and I'm like, they didn't make that in the SKU. Right. I'm looking at SKU going, and I go, never mind. And my boys would be like, he don't do that for me. I'd be like, because you're not a girl. You ain't gonna take care of him later on in life like she gonna take care of him. But when you look at it, the Nike is they've been more of a family. Mm-hmm. When I got hurt, they were always there. When things happened, they were there. When the Hall of Fame, they were there. So any big part of my career, there was always, Dana, Bill Frechette, Lynn, always there watching and making sure that I was okay.
And also, too, they gave you some of the best marketing, commercials, too, as well. The 1996 Griffey for President and all that. What went into that and some of the marketing things? I know you say you want to be organic, but you guys set a lot of tones, even in regards to just like the turtleneck under the jersey or the swing man. It replicated the jump man, but they're talking about the number one thing is your hat backwards and all that.
Well, there's a lot of things that, certain rules that, everybody got to have some sort of swag.
Yeah.
You always got to be different. But the main thing about me is I wanted my game to be different. if you're going to say, oh, he wore his hat backwards, he was disrespectful. No, I wore my hat backwards because I wanted to be like my dad. I wanted to wear my dad's hat. And my dad had a fro and I had a peanut head, and the bill of the hat kept hitting me in the face. So I turned it around. If you look at early, you can see all my early pictures. I was showing a whole bunch of forehead because that's the way I wore it. Now, as you get older, that thing start going down. Now, my forehead ain't that, but I still got a whole lot of hair. But I wanted to be like my dad, and that was the way I wore my hat. The mock turtleneck, I had a gold chain, a little BMW gold chain that you'll see from my rookie card. I still have that little gold chain, by the way.
Oh, wow.
It kept hitting me in the face. So I said, I'm still gonna wear it. I just got to put something on it to knock it down. So I started wearing a mock turtleneck. I wore it in A-ball. So it wasn't like I was doing something different when I got to the big leagues. The only thing I did when I got to the big leagues is I made my pants a little longer. That was it. Because, in the minor leagues, you got to show 6 inches, and I got a chance to custom my pants and say I want them 34 length.
That's real. So now you're on a new position. Obviously, you work with the Mariners in the position you have now, but last year was the inaugural year of your Griffey Classic. Can you talk about that and how that came about and, going from trailblazing paths to continue to do so for the future?
I think, in basketball, it's a lot different than baseball. I mean, basketball, you get a full ride. If you could play, it doesn't matter, Division I, II, or III. In baseball, you get 11.7 scholarships. A lot of these kids play other sports because they can get a full ride. And we're losing a lot of kids who love the game of baseball and want to be a part of baseball because of the amount of scholarships. And I just wanted them to be seen. I was fortunate enough that my dad played and I was able to amplify what he started. But my dad has also taught me how to give back. Mm-hmm. My mom and dad were like big on, hey, this is what you do. And you got to give back to the kids who are less fortunate. And with that, I was like, well, let me do something that is fun and that could be seen. And last year's HBCU Swingman Classic was a blast. We had a lot of kids. We had 6 kids in the draft that went to teams, hoping it gets bigger and better. You want all these kids are asking is an opportunity to be seen. They're not asking for an opportunity to play. They want to showcase their talent like everybody else. And when people say, hey, it's historical black college, there are a lot of other groups of people that go to historical black colleges. And they want to be seen. Not everybody can go to a Power 5 and spend $30,000, $40,000 a year, trying to play baseball. Sometimes it comes down to, hey, I want to get my degree, but I still love the game of baseball and basketball and football. You look at Division III basketball, where these kids are still paying, to play basketball. They are paying to play basketball. And the same thing, paying to play baseball. You want to give those guys an opportunity to go out there and to showcase against the guys who got the scholarships, because they're just as hungry as the guys who did get a Division I offer.
Well, before we let you go, I got one question. You still got beef with the Yankees?
Yeah. What's funny is I got more Yankee friends than any other team.
New York.
But you just won't see me wearing a Yankee hat.
No, that makes sense. I mean, you can wear your own hat. That's why the logo was created, right?
Yeah.
So, Ken, hey, we appreciate you. Thanks for coming on.
No problem. Thank you, guys.
A big honor. Thanks for giving us your time. For real.
This
is unbelievable. For
You're
real.
the reason why
and
I
we'll
made
work on
it
that
pro.
golf date.
All right, yes, sir.
Nah.
Yes, sir.
No. You made it pro.
Yo, and
because your butt was dangerous.
Yeah. And when
Thank
you
you.
and when you robbed a home run in little big leagues, you killed a 6-year-old me. I couldn't believe you did that. I was hurt, man.
I remember that.
I was hurt.
Hey, I apologize.
Man, I was hurt, man. Billy Haywood. Damn.
We appreciate you joining us,
It
fam.
wasn't my fault. It's the only time I could be a villain.
Oh, it's true.
That is true. That is really true. Well, you weren't. I blame Randy Johnson. I didn't blame you for real. So don't worry.
Okay.
All right.
All right, fam. You take care. Tell the fam I say
too.
hello and bear down.
Okay. Bye.